Hello, Connor. Me, Connor. Today I have friend to welcome you to this audio broadcast. His name is Conir, and he speaks Old English. You might think this is random. However, Old English happens to be the language in which the CZW theme is sung. Please take it away, Conir.
Fancy. Yalla everyone, it is Conir. Welcome you to REMP Auction. Today we be released the CZW Brandstick 2000 toy. We love I CZW. Nee, I do not smack myself either, but it be harmful. Anyway, not in the show.
Outrage, the Marines' first reaction to that sniping back home. Outrage, the Marines' first reaction to that sniping back home. Outrage, the Marines' first reaction to that sniping back home. Outrage, the Marines' first reaction to that sniping back home.
CZW TV star Greg Matthews.
CZW's TV star Greg Matthews. Are you kidding me?
He's a star of the television.
Star of television. Wearing a damn...
You've seen him as seen on TV. he's like fucking Brad Pitt.
Well, he's not been announced, but, he can come anytime he wants to, because, he is a TV star. Yeah, Rick.
He's the first thing we see. Hitman loves him now, and Gargiulo hates him. It's brilliant.
He's a TV star, John says, and Eric, he is like, 6 months in a cup of coffee. This is all that. He's like, John, I'm a TV star, you're a TV star. He's really burying this Greg Matthews guy in his TV star credentials. IMDb profile, he's not got it. And then he gets on the mic. And how about the microphone quality on this show, Eva?
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good at all.
I like the Viking Hall shows. They're great. But you can never really hear shit in terms of the promos, can you?
Not at all, no. And it's even worse here because Greg, he gets some feedback on his mic. And then Eric, he's like, you broke the microphone, idiot. You broke it. And then I sort of got that, he thinks, you fans think that I suck, but I think that you really suck, is what he thinks this whole situation is. And then he quits.
Steady on, Graf.
He quits CZW. And, Eric's like, thank God. But then, someone comes out to make a save. It's Rock and Rebel.
Imagine having your career saved by Rock and Rebel.
It's very dire. These two shows that we're covering in this recording session, it's full of guys who do the sort of shit that I think a lot of wrestlers think is the utterly coolest stuff is they get in the ring and either through sign language or just through singing, they'll be like, cut my music.
Oh, yeah. I think the original guy doing that would have been heel Shane Douglas at ECW. And if you've
absolutely,
have you ever seen one of his segments on ECW? Fucking torturous shit.
Yeah, just it's fucking voice that feels like it's just like this. Cut my oh shit.
Don't hurt yourself. Cause of death, impersonating Shane Douglas.
Cause of death, trying to say Dick Flair. So yeah, it's man, everyone who does this looks like a fucking nerd.
Yeah, it's so shit. Cut my fucking music.
What's that meant to be?
Shane Douglas.
Wow.
He sounds like Kermit or some shit, doesn't he? He's like, cut my fucking music.
I'll have to keep this in mind for later on in this whole project. So, Rock and Rebel, he comes out and he says that Greg's problem is that he reads the internet too much. He reads these critics a lot. And then, weirdly enough, he starts cutting a babyface promo talking about, South Philadelphia and like all these other promotions that are trying to copycat CZW, but this is the real South Philadelphia promotion ever, and people are fucking like going nuts for Rock and Rebel, right? So then, I think it's like he issues an open challenge to any tag team who wants to come out and face him and Greg Matthews. So this has gotten really weird. And who is it that comes out to answer this very challenge?
It's a couple of super heavyweights, 300-pounders, something like that. Oh wait, no, it's Hurricane Kid and Cowboy, called the Super Heavyweights.
Is that Super Heavyweights? And they've got a manager now, and guess what? He is the gay, yes, and Rock and Rebel.
He's wearing he's man in Hawaiian shirt. That's who he is.
Yes, we can plainly tell through symbolism what he is meant to be, what he's meant to represent. Rock and Rebel, he does not think Kane Levis man because he is gay. And okay, look, here we go. Eric Gargiulo character arc. Are you ready for it? after Ring of Honor, Eric sees Rock and Rebel being homophobic and is like, "Alright, leave the man's sexuality out at us." So Rock and Rebel, strangely enough, this is the most comprehensible promo on the show. He's like, "This is heterosexual men's federation. We don't have queers here," and everyone loves it. Everyone fucking loves it. And then Eric, he goes like, "Not that there's anything wrong with being homosexual, right, John?" So I know he's going for it there. It's very confusing. And then, so Greg Matthews, he came out here to quit, but then Rock and Rebel came in to say no, whatever. It seems as if he wants Greg Matthews to stay, and then he calls the team out so he can have a tag team match. And then when these guys come out, he's like, "Oh, Greg, you just go to the back. I'll do this myself." So Greg Matthews leaves. It's the extent of his role in the show.
Matthews didn't do shit. Rebel just squashes these guys.
Yeah. And it was quite striking to me. This must have been the happiest day of Rock and Rebel's life. When else are we going to see a crowd who goes nuts for his promo and then watches his match and thinks, "Wow, yeah, here's the Rock and Rebel. Oh, those patting and chops in Rock and Rebel, yeah."
Hardest chopper in the biz, they say.
Hardest chopper in the business. And then he fucking went with a leg drop and does a cocky pin, and I don't know if it's he just paid more for his involvement on this show, so they gave him a bit of a highlight spot, but this is it doesn't even fit with what Rock and Rebel's been doing this entire time, does it?
No, not really. Why don't you just have him in that commissioner role if he's forcing you to book him? He's not good to watch, clearly.
Yeah, but somehow all the stars aligned, and he has this big fucking, I don't even know what to call it, just a match where he is loved, and perhaps it's the only one we'll ever see, so that's something to think about. And then we move on after this to some stuff that is better.
Yes. This is a interesting match between Ruckus and the debuting Derek Frazier, who's going to be around for a few years. Known fashionista Eric Gargiulo says Frazier needs to work on his wardrobe.
Meanwhile, John is just just going, at this point, he's supernova, going crazy about Ruckus, just saying he's fat, he shouldn't be invested, something needs to be done about this guy, all this stuff. So we get to this match then, and
Gargiulo, he immediately 180s on Derek Frazier, because he's like, "Oh, this guy didn't look impressive," and then he do a kind of basic athletic sequence and a standoff, and he's like, "And Derek Frazier is making quite the impact here."
What's happened to your Eric voice?
Was that different? Like I say, it's different every time. You just don't know what you're going to get. It's like a mystery bag of impressions.
Is it Eric who says, "That's why he calls himself Pure Impact"?
He literally hasn't done anything impactful yet. It's just like a 50-50.
That's crazy.
It's great
This
stuff.
match, I thought it was kind of stupid, but I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking the same initially. Like, yeah, like you see a lot of 50-50 stuff, and they look at each other like, "Oh, we're evenly matched, mate," and the crowd's eating it up. You can see that kind of stuff too much, but then it starts getting like actually like really fun. Like Fraser's quite entertaining. Like he reminds me of slightly less good Nate Webb at this point. Do you agree with that take?
Yeah, I'd say so.
He's like this gangly, sort of unnatural athlete doing wacky junior shit, but doing it quite well.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's definitely someone who's trying to impress. Yeah, absolutely. And he does like put his all into this. Like Ruckus does a razzle dazzle that's a bit different from the usual razzle dazzle, and they don't designate it as such, but I think it's the razzle dazzle number 2. So there are multiple of those. And then he also, okay, what was the chronic again?
I'm not sure that I did write that Ruckus murks Fraser with a big second rope powerbomb. That was very nice. That might have been the chronic.
No, it's not the second rope. It's something grounded. But okay, so Ruckus does a move of some sort.
Yeah, note that down, guys. These guys did a move of some sort.
Well, no, it's not in the move. It's not in the move that makes us noteworthy. It's afterwards Eric does this usual thing of Ruckus likes to call that the chronic, and then like this music exchange starts where John House goes, "The chronic, the chronic, the chronic, the chronic."
That's so good.
It's great.
Fraser does this really weird spin kick with 2 rotations, and Gargiulo says, "He likes to call that the kick. Quite simply, the kick. Simply stated, a simple move."
That's a very long title for a move. So, yeah, if you were going for such a simple move, like, why would... I'm fucking confused at that.
The
Why would
kick!
you just do that? The kick.
Quite simply, the kick.
Excuse me, Derek Fraser. So then the finishing part of this match, it gets pretty crazy because they go onto the outside and Ruckus goes for like that Hangman Page shooting star press onto the concrete, but then it gets avoided, and it seems like it'd be pretty bad to land on concrete in such a way. Strangely enough, Derek Fraser, when he starts using the chair, gets booed from the audience.
Yeah, he's not putting a full CTE special into these things, and the crowd hate it.
Oh, is that why?
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing that goes back to like ECW. If you don't like Lance Storm, he used to not really put his all into the chair shots, and the crowd would boo it because they're so used to people just getting creamed in the fucking skull. And CZW is much the same way. So yeah, that's why he was getting booed there.
All these days, I thought like the CZW crowd just had a random change of heart with regard to honor.
No, they didn't suddenly become Ring of Honor fans, I don't think.
Well, there you go. So
hey, you're breaking the code of honor. The code of combat.
Code of combat. So after this, which I now realize is a paltry example of cheering, Derek he gets taken over by Ruckus, who then lays a bunch of chairs out on the concrete, and then he does Daverta Breaker on the chairs. And that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then in response to this, Eric is like, "Excuse me, Ruckus," and then John, and sort of voice as if he's being cheeky, and he's just trying to get away from it. He's like, "You're excused." Then after that, get back inside that ring, and then some other stuff happens, and then a split-legged twisting senton by the Ruckus to win. This was a cool match.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm assuming that we'll see more of Fraser in Best of the Best 2. I haven't confirmed that, but it would seem natural to put him in there.
The salads and scrambled eggs. But I don't know what to do with them. Okay. So after that,
Niles, you bloody fool!
imagining like Fraser and Zandig voice.
Dad, why is there a dog on the couch?
Niles, this is the worst thing you've ever done. Whoa. So after this, hard fart battle by Ruckus, Lobo comes out and
Comes out with Chris
who
Hero,
is it?
Dave Prazak.
What the fuck?
Yeah, IWA
What's
invasion here. Well, not quite, but
Yeah, Iwam's invasion. So, do you know what the story behind this is? Was there some sort of like thing as to why the guy that we just saw, be accepted as Ian Rotten's son, is now here in CZW?
I don't think he's like, he's jumped ship. Like, I think it's just a booking. Like, they wanted to bring him in. Gargiulo calls Prazak that damn woman hater. Gargiulo?
Yeah.
I've seen your commentary on Queen Ho of the Ring.
Yeah, he's just really going back on all of his sins here, Eric is.
Yeah.
It's great. So yeah, Dave Prazak is there too. It's weird because, they, like, in the EWAMs, Chris Hero and Dave Prazak are by no means friends. And when they come out here, I sort of expected that maybe, since Chris Hero is acting heel here, wherein he's a babyface in EWAMs, perhaps he is just going to pretend that he is pals with Dave Prazak on the rig. But here they are not, so they are still bickering because, like, I don't know, why the fuck is Dave Prazak managing Hero then?
Yeah, it's strange, but I don't know. Maybe you fucking drove him there. Maybe that was the thing.
So Lobo's thing is that he, last time he denied Ruckus his spot in Best of the Best 2. So now he decides he's going to be a bit more méchant. He's going to fucking, deny Ruckus Best of the Best 2 again. So he's like, that was a hard fart performance, Ruckus, but now, if you want to be in Best of the Best 2, you got to also beat Chris Hero. And, that's just what the fuck. This is crazy odds here. Chris Hero, his shirt is very sweaty. It looks gross.
I suppose it does. This match, it's definitely not as fun as the match that it followed.
John loves Chris Hero, loves the guy, thinks he's the greatest wrestler ever. He says he's a hero, right? And then Eric, in response, he just goes, "To ho!" me and Eric, we're tight. So, yeah, Ruckus is just, he's fucking going for it. He's like trying his best, even though he's got a bum knee. But then, Chris Hill cut him off, catches Wrestle Dazzle into German, and then John House is like, "No Wrestle Dazzle tonight!" But he's wrong. There will be Wrestle Dazzle.
Yeah, John. And eventually Ruckus murderizes Hero with the poetic Ruckus for the win.
I did like the finish here because, like, after a couple of miscommunications between Hero and Dave Prazak, Hero ends up getting in position for the Pretty Ruckus, right? Like, and it's cool because Ruckus will get a chair from someone in the crowd, and Lobo will come running through to like try and grab it, but he's just too late. Ruckus already got the chair. He's like, "No, my plan is coming apart." And then Ruckus gets to break Ruckus off, and he wins. And then, like, Lobo's very mad at Dave Prazak. Big Daddy Sweet, he like pushes Hero out. It's like, "Get the fuck out here." Since Ruckus has experienced catharsis, we've experienced catharsis, and it's really cool.
Yeah, so he's gonna be in Lobo's junior heavyweight tournament.
Sounds cool. The LJHI.
Yeah.
So then we get quite a surprise with this next match, do we not?
Yeah, it's time for the first women's match in CZW history. It's Lacey
Wow.
versus Rain. These two again. We saw them on the IWA Mid South shows that we just recently covered.
Mm.
Their match there was worse than this. This was a bit better. It seemed.
Yeah, this was kind of like good. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prazak is also accompanying Rain, and Gargiulo agrees with me how weird that is.
Yeah, it is very weird because he is a woman hater. You know, and, like it just seems like weird that I mean, because like in Loaded, both Lacey and Rain they come out to berate Dave Prazak and then beat him up. Why is it now that Rain has decided, okay, now I will let you manage me? It's a bit strange. So, you know, it's historic here. The first ever CCW Josh Perro wrestle match. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lacey Rain is still not amazing or anything, but it does help when like the commentary is not just like going, "Oh, look at them, they're terrible."
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Because that's basically like rule 101 of commentary. If you're trying to get across that these people are worth your time, don't go, "Oh, they're all terrible." Look.
yeah.
I understand
that's what I was gonna
Prazak's
say,
trying to do a heel stick, but it just didn't work there. And yeah, it's much better in this environment. Although Gargiulo, he still can't resist saying breast edge chops.
Yeah, this is the thing, is that the commentary is also better, but they're still finding ways to be weirdos about it. Because, like, you know, Eric at first, he seems like quite a chaste person. You know, he's, like, emphasizing that these women, they know how to go. They're not just, you know, a bunch of tits and ass. You know, he's kind of, he gets subtweeting the women's division of that other company. But then, well, as well as that, he goes, like, you know, I think it's like when they're just like struggling on the ground, so the guy just goes, "The fans love it, bunch of perverts."
Yeah, it's like really contradictory. And he says that, "Oh, the ref's got a wet spot on his pants."
Why don't you watch Stardom, Hitman?
Watch Stardom.
Full stop. But yeah, then after that, like it just gets weird because they do just start going like, you know, like going on about like how they're like sexy and have boobies and whatnot. But as you say, it doesn't detract from the match particularly because, you know, it just feels a lot more competent.
This does seem a good deal better than Iwam's match, although Gargiulo goes one step further and says it's perhaps the greatest women's match he's ever seen.
Yeah, he says that he's he's commentated women's wrestling before, and this might be the best. Very reminiscent of people being like, "Oh, I've seen 20 BJWs, and this AEW death match is the cruciest ever." Yeah, so yeah.
I suppose it probably is better than the stuff that he was commentating on in Queen Ho of the Ring. But yeah, he's clearly not watched any, you know, Arja Kong tapes or anything.
Yeah, he's not been watching his 2002 Arshin tapes, not like that one guy. Oh. So, and then the pivotal point in this match. Well, one of the pivotal points is that Prazak, he gets involved. It's like Lacey, she tries to go up for a top rope maneuver, and then Prazak, you know, tries to stop her. And then Eric is like, "Oh, here goes Prazak, that idiot. What's he trying to do? Get a date? Just repeats himself for no reason." It's great. And then for some reason, like I think it might be like something stupid. It's like Rain runs the ropes, and like I think it's like Prazak thinks it's Lacey, so it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna trip you now." It's just stupid. And then like Lacey does a cool suplex and she wins, and the whole thing afterwards is that, you know, Lacey leaves, Rain is there, and Dave Prazak is there too. He is, you know, like I know what you're saying, but he's just trying to, like, you know, make good for it. And then Eric, he kind of does some projecting, you know what I mean? Because like he's like, "Oh, Rain may want to tie him up and beat the crap out of him." I don't think it's. I think that's just you, Eric. So yeah, then Rain and Presac fall out. Oh no.
Oh no. I'm sure we'll be hearing about this on the Ilwams.
I'm sure we are. And then we get a surprise.
Yeah, Messiah just shows up.
The Messiah!
Yeah!
Yeah. I missed this guy. Wahoo. What did you think of his fit?
He was in a white shirt this time, wasn't
Yeah, a white shirt with like white and blue shorts, and it looked fucking like it looks as if it was like a toothpaste box come to life, you know?
he?
It's crazy. And
The human toothpaste, the Messiah.
that was a really good impression of the CCW guy. So he comes out, he's fucking mad at Lobo. And then Lobo comes out, you know, they make a point of like, oh, Lobo's not got his music queued up, this is a shoot or whatever, right? So then Lobo, just in his normal voice, he goes, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, man. And then Eric, an unprecedented first, he just goes, I don't know what you're talking about, man. That's a fucking whiny voice. Yeah, it's fucked up. And so I couldn't even understand what the whole initial thing of this was, because last time we saw Messiah, the whole thing was that he was confronted by his past, and ostensibly it was Chris Hamrick, because, you know, his GF is Chris Hamrick's ex-GF, so that was the whole thing. But then he comes out here again with something on his mind, on his chest, and it's apparently way more intense and somehow involves Lobo. Did you have any idea of what this was meant to be?
No, not really. Like I wrote there, they're negotiating something I'm unsure of.
Well, I know how this negotiation ends, because what happens is that, like, basically they get around to the whole thing of the highest stakes CZW title match. And this is not set up in the, you know, preceding title program. It's just that, you know, now it's a 4-way with Justice Payne and Adam Flash versus Mondo and now Messiah.
It got sort of like that Messiah had to put something on the line. I thought he'd be facing Justice Payne in a one-on-one, because we didn't see Mondo or Adam Flash. We didn't see them before the main event. So
yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, like, because like CCW, it's not meant to be like a gap-ridden thing like A1, so you'd sort of think that they'd have some hype for it. But anyways, the whole thing is that for Justice Payne and Adam Flash, they both put up their titles. For Nick Mondo, it's his career, you know. It's kind of weird to just put up your career on hype.
yeah.
And meanwhile, here, the thing that does get hyped up, Messiah, he's like, okay, if I lose this match, Lobo, you get my GF. You get Christy Mist. And then, so Messiah puts up his GF, and it's funny because, like, all the records of this show, like the VK description or the cage match, they just sort of put it as Messiah's relationship with Christy Mist. Just like, you know, Mascara contra relationship with Christy Mist.
Yeah, we've been criticising Strigger's, you know, cards that he's personally uploaded. You know, not always getting everything right, but he got this pretty bang on. Like, he really, Nick Mondo's career, this is title versus Messiah's girlfriend. Like, damn, well done, Strigger.
Yeah,
you really got all that information.
And so yeah, this is quite something. I think, like, Messiah's okay. So Christy Mist, she sort of, like, you know, because she's inaudible, because everyone's inaudible. I don't know if she says, like, you know, oh, Messiah, I believe in you, go for it, put me on the line. So whatever. and then
Yeah,
like,
you'd think maybe, like, hey, think about this, Messiah. I don't wanna go with Lobo.
Yeah, and so the deal is done, and, you know, then afterwards Lobo, you know, as if, like, you know, akin to the devil, after someone just sold a soul to him, he, like, said some, like, off-color comment about, you know, oh, after this I will fuck her or something, and then we don't hear it all, but Eric's like, oh god, all right, that's enough, that's part of the line, and stuff like that. And so, oh my god,
Christy Mist, She's got very pointy nipples.
Oh, well, I wasn't looking.
Liar! Liar!
So,
I wrote
yeah.
Messiah has a way with titty women in 2002. Because he'll say, went with what's-her-face as with Rob Black.
Oh, you try to say what's her face if you don't remember Lizzie Borden. How dare you?
I forgot the name.
So, yeah, Lobo, he is piece of shit now. It seems a lot less ambiguous than past shows because now he's sort of, just being like a villain the entire time. So that's cool. And yeah, so then Messiah, he's got his GF as a steak, yummy steak.
She is the steak. Love to make my GF a steak.
That's like what I was like. How if I was like, oh, I'm having my wife for dinner. Ho ho ho. So yeah, then we move on to definitely a tasty meal. That's that's real. I've had a taste, and now I want the whole meal. And we get the whole meal, because, oh my god, freeway tag match, softcore versus Irish drink versus the new school. Wow.
Yes.
So, Ty Street, he's back.
Hell yeah.
When the softcore Apuestas match happened last time, High Street was not there, and it seemed as if he did not exist. And thus, it was presented as if Nick Burke, by winning, had himself become the softcore connection. However, Ty Street is back here. I don't know if he's like the bodyguard, where he only like works a specific area, like he's only allowed in Viking Hall or something like that. But in any case, he's back here with Nick Burke, and they are termed the softcore connection. So basically, it's just that Z-Bar just is out now. So, oh well. And then, they seem cool. And then, the new school is there. Down with the sickness. And then Pastor Jim is there. And he's got a big Happy Meal suit on, don't he?
Yeah, he's trying to get some free macaroni cheese or something. Because he just loves his fucking pasta. What can you say about that guy?
No.
We all have a vice, I like cigarettes and stuff. Like, this guy loves pasta.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You can't deny it. Pasta, Jim. And then,
did you note that Ty Street seems like really oddly popular with the crowd? Like, everyone's giving this dude a high five. Like, everyone loves him. It's great.
Well, the whole thing is like they go for a high five, but then pull away, because that's the whole gimmick. It's that softcore connection. They can't high fives apparently. So, fish stick in the business. Yeah, like the softcore connection. I think they are stars. I am. Oh. So then after this, the Irish drinking team come out. It's Ian Knox and Crystals as ever. Double shot Ian Knox, and then like fucked up because they go up to the ring announcer and they've got shots with them. They've got shots of some alcoholic beverage, perhaps a spirit, and they just down him, and the ring announcer downs him too. And I don't know about this either. It seems a bit unsafe. What the fuck?
Well, I'm very used to drunk wrestlers. Like, Marcus Crane is my favourite drunk wrestler. I don't think he's ever wrestled sober, so I'm in favour of it personally.
Well, if it goes in the combat zone. So then, Z-Bar said that he's no more. New and improved softcore connection, Nick Burke feeds a lady Red Bull, which is, cool enough. I don't know if... Well, I just don't know. This Red Bull thing, like...
Yeah, Red Bull is disgusting.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's in just today I was at the shops and I saw some Monster and I like passively sort of thought maybe I should get a Monster, and then I realized, wait a second, I care about myself. I love myself, and so then C-Bar.
I don't particularly care about myself, but I just think it tastes rank.
You don't like drinking piss. It's okay. Me neither.
Yeah.
So
Love an
Z-Bar
iron brew,
said that he's no more. Z-Bar. He's out, and so Eric, he speculates that nobody's gonna get fluffed, nobody's gonna get donkey punched anymore. That remains to be
tragic.
seen. So this match, it's kind of just a clusterfuck as you would expect. This whole thing where only two can be in at a time, so it's that confusing thing of every single time a match like this happens, it's always like an inevitable question of, oh, what if two people on the same team tag in? They could easily just pin each other, or whatever. And so the first thing that really happens is that these dives happen. Everyone does a dive, and what if the Irish drinking team does one, and Eric goes, "Can you get pulled over for drinking and flying?" And then John, he goes, "Ha ha! Very funny, Eric."
Supportive hit, man.
It's good.
God, Gila says someone was tugging at some point.
What? Oh, yeah, I remember this now. Alright. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Someone
That's not the word, Eric.
So, someone definitely was tugging in this match. I'll tell you what. Softcore Connection, they are the best team in this match, I would say. Would you agree?
What? You don't think it's the new school?
I don't think it's a new school.
Oh, fair enough then. I would probably agree with you, actually.
Yeah, it's just because, I don't know, they seem a lot more charming than the rest of them. Nick Burke, he does great suplexes. Ty Street, he's just so weird. And I don't know, it seems like he moves his Ty Street and breathes his Ty Street and whatnot, all this good stuff. Meanwhile, fucking GQ, his big spot is that someone guys us down, and he goes, "Watch this," and it covers his eyes while he's punching, so as to brag to you that he's really accurate or something like that, and it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's oh, I'm gonna do something really impressive, but this is the only thing I dare do.
Yeah, it's not about to fucking do shooting star press well blinds, is he?
Yeah.
No. And then they do a double 619 in new school do, and that sucks too. Just fucking come on. And then a bunch of stuff happens with what did you think of Ty Street trying to use chairs?
It's not very softcore, is it?
It's not very softcore at all. In fact, similar actions led to detention and led to Z-Bar being sent off. What's up this now?
Disgraceful, really.
Speaking of deviling, because what the hell leads to the finish of this match?
Sorry, what was going on in the finish?
You tell me.
Well, the crowd was very bored with this match, and it felt like it was, dying. But, a few crazy moves towards the end, just about salvage it, 4 1/4.
No, I'm talking about Z-Bar. Because, motherfucker, he comes out. What's he doing here? He's not part of the Softcore Connection anymore. And, oh my god, he has just beat up Nick Burke. He's fully planted himself against the Softcore Connection, his former buddies. And then Ian Knox wins, and nobody is really, moved anyway about that. But my god, it's Z-Bar. This match was to, promote him.
Did I manage to blank out Z-Bar entirely? I did not write him in the notes for this match.
What the hell? He was the entire reason the finish happened.
Well, I was paying really close attention, as you can tell, and this wasn't a good match. No.
Nah.
I mean, that settles it. That I didn't even fucking clock what the finish was.
So, yeah, then this is just like a story match to set up whatever Z-Bar's doing, and then this next match here is to show us what Z-Bar is doing right now, which is being in a freeway with Danny Rose and Heavy Max Felry.
I think it's supposed to be Fury, but for some reason it's spelt with an E in Feury.
Yeah, it's in Portugal. So this Max Fury guy, you would know him, right?
I've never seen him before. He gets announced as weighing 1 ton, so I was eagerly anticipating like a big fat dude. But he's not a big fat dude. What the fuck, CZW? He's short. Stop playing these jokes on me.
Yeah, I think like every single time that every single time he sees like a small guy who like pretends to be big, is like it's just like it fucking loses it, you know. So
Yeah, it was his
that was a
favorite
good
game.
fight. It was a good thing to go back to. Well, but yeah, I was disappointed by that because when he said a ton, I was thinking like like it was fucking like someone to be in like the deep megaton championship. Man, that'd be great. And but like he said that like he does mixed martial arts and like has got this many wins. It's like, man, he's not. I know he's not gonna show this in the actual match. So why would you tempt me so? But Z-Bar, meanwhile, he's like, now that he's not a softcore guy anymore, he's got a new shirt, and do you know what it says?
I can't remember.
Love me for my mind, not just because I'm well hung.
Love me for my mind. Wow. Z-Bar's got emotions, people. Not just a big dick. Big emotion.
All this time I sort of just thought of Z-Bars as an object, a sexual object, but now I see it's more. But then again, maybe I veered more towards him objectifying him because once again, he starts struggling and jiving, and Eric just goes, "Look at him shaking that ass." And it's great. And then Lobo, he comes out to accompany Danny Rose, and it's quite nice because Lobo, when he's hearing Danny Rose's music, he kind of gets like a bit happier and a jauntier, and starts dancing to it a bit, and it's cool. So Danny Rose now past the Greg Matthews feuds, they say that they're both trying to move on, which implies that they're having difficulties with it. I don't think that anyone is having difficulties with it. The Walking Time Bomb, as he's now called, he's with Z-Bar, and they want to lock up this Max Finley guy. He's just being ignored. He will try to instigate himself into the competition, and they will just shrug him off. Did you like this part?
It was okay, I guess. It's like I like how he gets like first they do double arm drags to him, but then he just like flip bumps over entirely. That was funny.
Yeah, it's cool. He kind of like Maxi. It's cool how small he is because it allows him to really throw himself around. Like he does this thing where he gets German suplexed, and the way he rotates, it's like he does the thing where you flip out of a German so as to avoid harm, yet somehow he is still hurt because he just I don't know, perhaps just falling on your feet at such a height is still hurts. So
Yeah.
whatever. And then it doesn't get better from there because Z-Bar, he is doing his offense on Max, and Eric, he finds a. I think maybe after the last Z-Bar triple threat he called, Eric sort of thought that he needs to vary up his word choice a bit more. He needs to look up a thesaurus. So rather than just saying look at him shaking that ass or whatever, Z-Bar, he makes a cover and just starts humping in Max Fury's direction, right? And Eric goes, "Look at what he's trying to tell you in retrospect to Fury's face." God, look at him. His penis is in the same general vicinity as Fritz. Fuck. And did you hear about the donkey punch lore that we learned about?
No, what gets added to the law?
Well, Z-Bar does the donkey punch and it gets called, right? And then John asks how many times Eric has been donkey punched before. And Eric says, for the 6th time, it's once. So there you go.
Hitman thinks he's doing it, every day, but no, it's just something he tried. Just something he's tried on a Saturday night, Had a few drinks, get donkey punched.
Get donkey punched. By who?
Hitman.
So, Danny and Max, I think that they show off the signs of a really quite fun singles match because due to the size difference, it creates a thing that's a bit akin to like Jumbo versus Kikchi, where in like the smaller guy, he is able to do all this stuff and like really like pick away at the big guy, but it's sold not as if it's a big impactful move, but as if like a child kicked you in the shins. Like you'll just like Daniel's just get up and like he'll cut off Max Fury and just like fucking pump him right in the back. It's fucking painful as shit looking, and we only get so much of it, before soon like there's like a doomsday device that happens where Danny Rose just pins both of them, and wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, the crowd were chanting boring for some of this, but I thought it was like a inoffensive, fun sort of match for the most part.
Yeah, they're just being assholes.
Yeah, yeah. They've got their shitting on things energy back, I think.
I'm looking forward to more of that as we go on. Looking forward to that in like the fucking deathmatch shows where like they just like are complete elitists about just like, I don't know, I'm not impressed by this burning glass.
Suppose we can put that one in the log. That's done and dusted, and we can move on to the second match for Josh Prohibition and M-Dog 20 facing off against the Backseat Boys, as was built on the last show.
Yeah, this match not dusted at all. It's dusty as shit, bro. God damn it. So,
I got a tweet here, a great tweet I once posted. Josh Prohibition, M-Dog 20, aka Matt Cross, got their first big break in wrestling from the Backyard Wrestling Series. They were regular standouts in the videos and were making transition from backyarders to pro. Promoters decided to capitalize on their buzz, and the rest is history. Thank you very much, Deuce.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is that a shit to Deuce tweet?
Wait, nothing. Yeah, that was a Deuce tweet. Like recently, nothing happened with Josh Prohibition or M-Dog 20. He just decided to post that. Just a little factoid for you there. So, thanks, man. Legitimately, it does add a bit of extra context. So. That's great.
Wow, so yeah, they like an RT to that post, M-Dog Ambition, this duo of these guys, backyarders trying to make it in the world, and now they've made it to the big leagues in CZW against the Backseat Boys.
Yeah.
And
people think Prohibition and M-Dog are candy. They ain't your sweet boys.
Man, M-Dog and Josh Prohibition, they ain't your sweet boys. They're savory. They're like fucking stock cubes in there, man. So the Backseat Boys come out. Trent's cap says he's crazy, and that's fucked up. Then we get to this match here. M-Dog Ambition versus Backseat Boys. I sort of perceived like the M-Dog here as like, because last time I didn't really like his match. He was just doing all this stuff that I thought wasn't really good. But I think that so he does that sort of stuff in this match where, just showing off his gymnastic ability, and occasionally he does stuff which just doesn't feel as if it has any oomph behind it. It's just like, I'm going through these spots, mechanically. But then like when it comes time to do a tope, like he just like, kind of throws himself recklessly through the air, and I think that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it goes with what our man Deuce said. He's got that backyard energy to him. He's only recently pro. I prefer this to like the more polished Matt Cross matches that I've seen from like the 2010s. To be honest,
I feel as if I have an idea of what those sort of matches would be. I have no time for that. Got other stuff to do with my life.
yeah.
And that's also what the Backseat Boys think, because after the tope they said, oh, we're going to leave, but then, oh no, they get brought back in. Oh no. By the way, did you notice that like during this match like Johnny Cashmere it's Johnny Cashmere, isn't it, who like just like beats up a fan?
Yeah, yeah. I took quite a lot of notes on this fan because I'm 99.99% sure that this was no plan. This was just a dude
Oh, I was
Because
expecting
he
you
was
to like.
I'd noticed him a couple of times previously. He's just sat there, and then for the rest of the show, he's just sat there. At one point, he's holding his fucking face, and like he's got his head sort of like buried in his hands, and someone checks if he's all right after this. I'm going to assume that like the CZW fans and wrestlers is quite, a lot of them know each other. I'm guessing Kashmir wouldn't have done this to just like anybody.
So that's interesting because when you said you like took a lot of notes, I sort of expected you to say, "Oh, it's this guy who works backstage," and it was a plant or whatever. But I wasn't expecting you to sort of think, "Oh, maybe Johnny Kashmir just did beat up a fan."
I really think he did. We did suspect this, didn't we? Like that CZW fans would like take being punched in the face by a heel in good humour. It's like, oh, great heel, guys.
Absolutely. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
There's the proof. There's the proof.
There's the proof. Yeah, like this guy, is during it one of the times when the Backstreet Boys is stalling, and this guy in this big yellow shirt, he's just getting in their face about it. And Trent Acid, he's like, he seems affronted. He's like turning away, like, oh, you see what I have to deal with here and all that. And then meanwhile, Johnny Kashmir, he gets in his face and just like, I'll let Eric's play-by-play speak for itself. He goes, "He just slapped a fan. He just attacked a fan." So that says it all. And just, man, that's very interesting. That's a part of like the, we talk about like the Progress Ultras or whatnot, like these like cozy little fan bases. Everyone knows each other. We've never considered that. That means like they're fairer game for getting beat up. I can't believe it. Then they get back in, and the boys, they start cooking. They start being the boys, and it's cool. They do a double Russian leg sweep, and that's good. And then the fan stuff happens, and after that, just a bunch of weird stuff. Like there's a gore through like a table apron that takes out Josh Prohibition, right? And then the finish is thus. So, Backseat Boys, they are standing vertically. They are near the corner in which M-Dog 20 is atop. If you were to think of the Backseat Boys as a straight line, they would complete the triangle that is like the corner and the section of ring they're in. So then M-Dog 20, he decides, okay, I'm going to take him out with my aerial offense. So what I will do is I will do a shooting star press, right? And Eva, I don't know if you've ever perceived before the whole trope of like old WWE stuff where like maybe like Alberto Del Rio or something like that would be wrestling someone, and he would do this spot where he's meant to do a dive but he gets caught by a boot or something like that, right? And so he goes up and then he jumps and he just does absolutely nothing. Like he's literally just going off so as to receive like the counter boots or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The flying nothing,
Yeah.
a lot of people called it. M-Dog 20, he decides to do the flying shooting star press nothing. He just lands on his feet and then they pick him up for a tea gimmick and beat him. It's fucking crazy.
M-Dog does a great bump for the tea gimmick.
Yeah.
Probably the best tea gimmick that I've seen so far.
It's quite a commendable move. I like it. And then that's the Backseat Boys asserted their dominance over these backyard boys, And then afterwards, Josh Prohibition and M-Dog 20, it gets said during the match that, they don't like each other. They were having problems communicating on the car ride over, that mystical thing that everyone keeps talking about. And then Josh Prohibition, he turns on Mad Dog, but then, he gets beat up and, wow, okay, cool. So, good ending after all.
Yeah. As this match was, as the Backseat Boys walk off, I noticed that Little Mondo, he's got a sign over him that says Little Mondo with an arrow pointing to him. And I now understand why crowds began to give Little Mondo sticks sometimes. That's a thing that I heard, that they'd just be like, fuck Little Mondo occasionally when nothing's happening. Direct some abuse at him.
Because it is just sort of thing. Okay, so cosplaying Nick Mando is a lot cooler than like I don't know, wearing the same exact shirt you wore when Rob Lesnar having to return.
Yeah,
But it's still a sort of thing like is I am paying money to put on my own show of like look at me and all that. So I don't know, very cool. Like okay, that's okay.
yeah. I mean, he's like what 12, so you can forgive him, but still,
Yeah, it's true.
he deserved the occasional bit of stick. If I was in the crowds, I'd be chanting for like Little Mondo too.
Wow, I can't believe it, Eva. How could you be so cruel?
'Cause I fucking am.
So then we get on to one of the marquee matches at this show. It's tag titles on Z-Lane. It's VD versus the thing that's been haunting them ever since they won the titles. The imminent challenge of the Hate Club. Wow. Hate Club is here in the house.
I wonder if Hate Club are also being haunted by VD.
I'm going.
You get it, mate? Because it's like a fucking sexually transmitted disease.
This does remind me. Recently, I started watching Heat Up. I got into their streaming service and started watching their stuff. And there is this point where I was watching this match featuring Koji Iwamoto, and he did an STO, right? And then the commentary, they were like, "Oh, Iwamoto does an STO, but his name is Iwamoto, so perhaps we should call it STI." I was like, I don't know about that.
Heat Up, that's like the only sort of like proper modern shoot style going, right?
Heat Up? No. That you're thinking of Hard Hit.
Ah, all right.
Yeah. So anyway, like sexually transmitted diseases, they're all the rage in wrestling right now, both past and present, and no different with VD here. Nate Hatred, he comes out, and like usually when you see a wrestler who is a bit forceful, a bit going into the corner for a taunt of some sort, they just sort of like motion for the ref to go out of the way. But Nate Hatred pulls referee Hartog out the corner, and Hartog goes, "Oh!" And it's very cool. Eva, are you familiar with the dynamic of Bad News Barrett versus Biggie Langston from Extreme Rules 2014?
I don't. I think I've seen that show, but I only remember like the weird Brian versus Kane match where there was a forklift and shit.
Who could forget it? Yeah, I was reminded of this because I remember that. Bad News Barrett, right? The peak of Wade Barrett's popularity, started on the fucking JPL and Cole show and then became a TV guy, and everyone loved him, and everyone thought he was very cool and very funny, and that's cool. And then inevitably he gets the Intercontinental title, which is held by Big E Langston at the time. Big E Langston, he won the Intercontinental title in this big match in Minnesota. He wins it in, so like it's big for like, he pulls down the straps just like Jerry Lawler, wow, and it's cool. But by this point, he's like a bit cold. People are just sort of like on him. So this match where this big popular guy versus this champion who's not really doing much, it felt like such an inevitable changing of the guards, and thus it's hard to care about a match where it's just like a means to an end of like, okay, now Wade Barrett is going to be Intercontinental champion.
Yeah.
And so this is the match which on paper feels as if it's going to fall into this dynamic, where in VD, obviously the crowd loves like their title win, it was cool, but they don't particularly love them. Meanwhile, Hate Club they do love. Hate Club are always loved. So coming into this match, they're like, it's these guys that we really want to
win. Are you saying that this
versus
didn't? Because I thought that kind of helped this almost, especially
Aye,
taking into
aye.
account the post match. Is that what you're also going to say? That helped it?
Let me finish. Come on, now.
Oh.
Yes. This match did well to avoid this particular dynamic wherein VD did not feel like Big E Langston's, where they were just sort of like, okay, it's time for me to lose this title to this other guy. It was sort of like they went in with that idea in mind of like, oh, alright, everyone's against us, we just got to do our hardest. And so that comes through with like, I'm sure you've noticed this too, just like this animus and hatred and just like every little step of the match, just like they're really clawing for this thing that like basically no one is hoping that they win. You know, it's great.
Yeah. So this match starts off, nice and hard hitting as you'd want from these four, I think. Valentine has some weird kicks that I can't remember seeing him do before.
They're capoeira style, aren't they? So
Yeah.
it's like, big twirly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
He
cool.
suddenly decided to be Eddie Gordo.
Yeah, an admirable person to impersonate, I think. Did
Absolutely.
you get that Nate Hatred is banned from Japan?
Yeah. Godzilla says that. I looked it up on Strigger.com, and he didn't even bother listing that Nate Hatred has some big Japan matches in 2002.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
you have to go to...
wrestling data saved my ass. But apparently he's never been back to Japan. I don't know whether he was actually banned from the country.
Yeah,
He might
that
have.
feels like a...
If he did get banned from the country, it was probably for maybe he took a drug there. I don't know.
That's true.
That's just me speculating.
This this does remind me. I did decide to see if there was some CZW footage of BGW, because I typed in Torrento Acido into YouTube, and it came up this one little 1 minute package version of him versus Winger, one of their matches in 2001 for the CZW Junior title, and it was kind of fucked up because one of the main spots they showed was this balcony dive that Winger does onto Trent Acid, who's on two tables, right? Winger does it, he falls and does this big senton through the table, but it is absolutely not the table which Trent Acid is on. So he just kind of goes through a table, and then Trent Acid just goes, kind of falls in his direction. So it's a bit crazy. But yeah, so track record of CCW guys keeping up the BJW relationship, 0 for 2, because now fucking Z-Bar, he said motherfucker or whatever in Japanese, and now Nate Hatred, he I don't know, did a cocaine or something. It's crazy. So I noticed that they were actively pushing the narrative that VD are not popular. What did you think of this?
I guess in this match, comparison to Hate Club and with what they're trying to do later on, it makes sense. But you could probably leave that comment out and just do it a bit more organically. I think because it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
We can all hear that the Hate Club are the most over team in this match by far.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is the stars aligned for this line to work, but it easily couldn't have, It's sort of you can never just bank on a crowd reacting a certain way in order for your commentary to work. It's sort of like Noah 2012. Do you remember that event where
No, I do not.
Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler happened, and the crowd, they were like, let's go Ziggler and all that, right? And Jerry Lawler, he was like, listen to these fans, let's go Sheamus. So yes, it's not a good idea. And then Eddie Valentine, this is one of those notes that I should have given myself more context for, because I just put down here. Valentine has studied GQ money.
Oh, so you must have watched XPW first.
Yeah, I did.
I could make no such note because I watched this first.
So then after that, he does a low blow, and then this is fucking cool. At first, his palm strike was just a thing that he did, right?
Yeah.
But now he's got fucking Muto hands, a big pose he does before the palm strike.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, and that's cool.
The
And it seems
flaming
as if-
part. I was so happy to see this again.
Oh, well,
I'm gonna play this music. I love this comedy, man. It's great. So there you go.
Well, Eva, I'll let you know something. Your playing of the CZW theme was misplaced because this isn't the flaming palm strike. This is just a normal one.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll set the video back to the start, and we'll just tell me when the flaming palm strike's coming out. Okay.
My suggestion exactly. So VD, they seem to be working towards the crowd now. They're working a bit heel. I think Eric says that like if VD they're about as fun as a tax audit, so that's crazy. And then they do this like big table spot where they do the Steiner Brothers Bulldog to Nick Gage, and that looks cool. Then this big outside brawl happens, and it's just really cool.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just like
It
start
starts really
to
ramping
shout
up.
each other. Like a fan, he tells Nate Hatred, "Hit him with the belt," and then Nate Hatred hits him with the belt. So that's cool. I was like a good listener in the relationship. And then, like, from out of nowhere, Nick Gage gets taken out by, oh my god, it's the second time ever.
What?
The Fire Palm Strike.
What? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, Palm strike. Nobody knows what those lyrics are.
CZW. And then there's
Yeah, I punched the air at saying that again. Like I was going so mad in my little room.
yeah, it's so fucking cool. I fucking can't believe it. And so this takes out Nick Gage. Nick Gage is dead in this match, but then Eddie Valentine gets dispatched by Nate Hatred, and then he goes after John Dahmer, and then bops him with something, right, a move or some other, and then he makes a cover, and then like they kick out like 2.9, but the bell rings anyway, right? And you would think there's something where on paper this would fuck up the match, just like, oh, what a shame, right? But then like the crowd immediately turns on the bell keeper. And like then Nate Hatred turns around and like flips them off, and then he just does another move and wins, and that's cool.
Yeah, it didn't really spoil it for me. Like this, I actually put this down as like in terms of CZW 2002 matches. This is my number 2 after Mondo and Justice Pain. I fucking loved it.
Yeah, it's a very good match. Absolutely very good match.
Yeah, just proper good intensity. Start off very believable, sort of hard hitting stuff, and then it all just goes fucking crazy in that great way. So
yeah, the dude is so happy about this. Like he like gets the belts for himself, and then like he just look at them like, and then Nick Gage will try and get him and like no, and that's cool. And then like Nate Hatred will do a damn Hiromo to the belt. He will tongue kiss it and fuck it and whatnot. That's cool.
yeah.
And
So
then
so what did you actually think of the false finish, if you like, the bell ringing? Because it does kind of give away who's going to win the match. Although there was that time for, I don't know if you've seen this yet, the final of this year's BGAW Deathmatch Survivor Tournament. It's Kodaka and Takeda.
yes, that's right. Yeah.
A graphic flashed up saying that Takeda won after a near fall. So I was like, oh, Takeda's going to win then. But then Asami ended up winning. So
Yeah.
it's like, what the fuck went on there?
Wait a minute. Was that broadcast live? That program?
I think so. I watched it on somebody's Robert's Rabbit.
Robert's Rabbit. Yeah. Yeah. Robert's.
Rob's
Robert. But no, it as I say, it was something that impacted it for me because like I could like it was a very close count. So like with indies generally, it doesn't seem as if they have like the regimented thing of like a referee will administer a count and then signal to the bell, and that's when the bell is rung. It just like the timekeeper just like figures it out themselves. Like as soon as they think that a free count's happened, they'll just like immediately ring the bell. And it can lead to a bit of miscommunication. But as I say, like they managed to do it really well. and just like go on absolutely smoothly. As in like the way that AEW done it, it made it feel as if like it was not a fake pro wrestling match, which was like fucked up. It was just like a mistake happened. He was like, "Fuck you, I will win this match now," and that was cool. And then VD, they're still in the ring with Max Smack. Eddie Valentine, he's got some stuff to say. He's got some stuff to get off his chest. He's mad, and like Eric, he's kind of playing the role of like friend at the bar who's trying to calm down his buddy who's just getting mad. It's like, all right, enough, Eddie, come on. But it's no use. Eddie Valentine is turning heel, and it seems as if VD is split up, right? Because Eddie Valentine, he says fuck to the Matt Smack. Oh no. But then, oh no, it's this John Darmer also joins in and he start beating up Max Mac. Oh no. But then, what goes on here?
Wife beater's back. He sprints out with a weed whacker. Hold on a second. Yeah! Wife beater's back! There's so many of these moments on this show where it's like, yeah! Wife beater. Weed whacker. I wonder if I really do wonder if anybody knows the lyrics to those verses, because it's just muffled. It's like sounds like it's trapped in like jelly.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to know. I feel like it might ruin some of the mystery. Yeah. In any case, Whitebeard, he runs out, right? And he's got an active weed whacker going. Yeah. And it's fucking awesome because, like, Eric, he just goes, "Let's just smoke the dirt." And, oh, man, that's fucking great. Yeah. And so, yeah, like, he saves Mac. Mac says a bunch of stuff and, then shakes hands with Wife Beater. And then, like, Wife Beater, he does the wanking motion towards VP. so that's cool. Wife Beater's
love
back.
A wanking motion.
Wank Peter.
Wank Peter. So yeah, he came back. He came back to save his brother-in-law. That's who Big Max Mac is apparently. Come on, yes. Bring Billy out. We need the whole family. Where the fuck is Billy?
Where's your brother in blood, wife?
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, a really quite good match, and then afterwards quite an amazing freaking goddamn return. So that's cool. And then after this, oh wow. So Trent Acid, he comes out again because he still is under obligation to defend his belts. So then he says, okay. So first of all, he comes out, right, and he says, "Shut up." Because Trent Acid is mad today. We missed it, but was it Z-Bar who does the shut up?
I do think Trent Acid does say shut up. We definitely get one from somewhere.
So, well, this time he's angry about it. So he just says shut up with a T, and he says there's no one left to challenge him, so he's going to just do an open challenge. And who is it that comes out for it?
Oh my god, the Phantom CZW champion is back to haunt us.
You! Not you again.
Jerry Lynn.
My therapist told me you weren't real.
We'd just moved on. We'd just put it all behind us. And here you are again.
A theory I have is that Jerry Lynn kind of got reverse ruckused because, like, imagine that he won the heavyweight title, right? He raised it in the air, but then, while we weren't watching, Rock and Rebel came out of a scale and said, "I'm sorry, Jerry Lynn, but you're too small to be a heavyweight, so I'm going to be taking this back now." So,
my theory was like they wanted to actually give the title to Jerry Lynn, but like I don't know, schedule conflict or something. He wasn't going to be able to be there often enough. Or something like that. Yeah,
this is something that's amazed me. Like, one of the commentary lines, once Jerry Lynn comes out, is that Eric is like, "Oh, all the dirt sheets, all the rags, They said he wouldn't be here, but now he is here. He swerved you all.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
So
weird.
they're acknowledging something's gone down, but we still don't have that exact like context. Like nobody's told us. So
This match, it occurs. You know what I mean?
it's better than Jerry Lynn's last CZW match. I'll say that. That was quite a bad
I
match.
suppose so.
This one is okay by me.
Well,
It
I don't know.
it certainly can't follow, you know, the match that we'd just seen prior. It's sort of more natural chemistry between Acid and Lynn. They can do some stuff together.
That is true. They do stuff together, yeah.
They do some stuff. Some moves are
during
hitting there.
during this match, some conversation spurs John to say that his stomach looks just like his guns. Very ripped. So that's cool. And then Jerry Lynn, after doing many moves throughout this contest, he attempts to do the cradle pile driver, but then here comes his one-time foe, Justice Payne. Oh no, he has hit the pain filler,
Oh no.
and now, and now Trent has his Yakuza kick and wins. Wow, a distraction finish. Can I get the CZW theme again for that?
Wait. Okay. Hold on. Oh. Yeah! Yeah, distraction finish. I fucking love that shit. Distraction.
Distraction. So yeah, Trent Acid. My God, he's caught waiting for it again. I can't believe it. So yeah, then I don't know that this match wasn't much to me. Jerry Lynn, he has continued to not really impress me in the CZW. It's unfortunate, but what can you do?
I don't think he ever comes back, so we'll see if he fares better in the honourable ring.
Wow, that would make sense.
It does seem like more his kind of speed, that Ring of Honor. We'll see. I can't particularly remember his matches from Ring of Honor, but it doesn't matter too much.
That seems to track much with what I've seen of Jerry Lynn so far. We get on to the main event. It's the high stakes match
Right.
for either the CZW title, the Iron Man title, Nick Mondo's career, or Messiah's GF.
I'm assuming, it's not winner takes all, because
No.
if Messiah doesn't win, Lobo gets Christy Mist.
No, it's that whoever gets pinned loses their stake.
Oh, okay. That wasn't even...
Yes.
See, this shit is so overbooked. I didn't even figure that out. I thought the winner would take all the titles and Nick Mondo's career too.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny. Can I tell you something?
Yes.
I loved this match.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. my first note.
I made a lot of notes on it.
Yeah, me too. By necessity, my first note on it is, how the fuck is there an hour left in this video? And we learned why.
Right.
So you didn't like this, did you?
I liked parts of it. It was just a bit. It was a bit much, but there's many sort of I guess CZW theme-able moments. Oh, listen, hey, before we get into this properly, I'm looking at the Camel Clutch blog. Before we forget.
Oh,
Oh man, Camel Clutch blog is douche tweeting. He says, "Fun fact: Perry Saturn went after Pablo Marquez as soon as they got to the back. I don't know why, but he wasn't happy about something up there."
wait, and WWF or CCW?
ECW.
Oh, ECW, I see. Oh, that's an interesting fact, Eric.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. Yeah, he hates Meltzer. He's retweeted Eric Bischoff saying, "Imagine that, Dave Meltzer guilty of speculation / lies."
Yeah, that's always his rule when it comes to wrestling discussion. It's like, Oh, you get your source from Meltzer? Whoopity doodah. It's good to see that he's still got that fire in him. That fire of justice and indignance. Eric Gargiulo.
Yeah.
Is that all from there? From the Chemicals blog?
He's retweeted Jimmy's famous seafood.
Oh,
It's got a video of Sting talking. It says, "The famous gets 2 thumbs up from the icon Sting."
yeah, yeah. I saw that video. It's very
Eric
funny.
Gargiulo really likes the Sting likes the seafood rostral.
Yeah, Sting seems like a nice enough guy. He just likes his seafood, you know.
A very important wrestler too, Eric Gargiulo.
Yeah, like, you know, it's got a lot of opinions on like the best crab cakes, and those are the best crab cakes he's got. He's got this like tote bag as well from them. Wow, great service. So, yeah, this high stakes match. I will say it starts out quite weird because initially, this is treated as if like it's a match where there can only be 2 people in the ring at a time, as in 2 other people are on the outside, on the apron, waiting to be tagged in.
Yeah.
And this leads to a further version of the dilemma that we see in freeway tags, wherein, you know, why would you possibly tag out? Because, you know, someone else could, you know, just win the match in your absence. This time now, it's a singles thing, and also there are high stakes involved. Were I to be the Messiah, and I decided that I would put up my sweetums as a stake, you know, I would think, you know, oh, I better not lose, like my honey doo-doo. I better not, you know, put myself into a position where I can lose her. You know, I would decide not to tag out, and, you know, but instead he just sort of like goes, oh, I'm tired. Adam Flash, you go in and win the match. So that's a bit weird. And it kind of frustrated me at first. Like, at this point, I sort of thought it would have worked better as a tag match, you know? Wherein, like, you know, it's Mondo and Messiah versus Flash and Justice Pain, wherein one side puts up their titles, the other side puts up their career e-wife. So, I think that would have been a better thing, but then...
these really are the highest damn stakes I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
There's so much
no
on the
doubt
line.
about it. The elevation of these stakes, their rocks just get cut off. So, but yeah, then they like sort of like get it more towards like a 4-way thing. Like the tag rules just kind of dissolve, and that's good.
Yeah,
Starts
I was
bringing-
right in that. Yeah, this tag-in style 4-way just doesn't feel like a main event. A big chair shot that busts Messiah open and gets me to start like showing interest again.
Yeah, and then like there's just a couple of dives, and like Mondo will like do this big dive and like immediately like look into the camera and do the pose right after. Like his intensity is just like absolutely like rock solid here, you know, just amazing stuff. And like, you know, initially Messiah and Nick Mondo, they have a bit of an alliance going, but then soon Messiah decides to turn on him and just like beat him up, right? And Mondo, in response, he fucking stances up. It's not like caveman pose. It's more just like fucking he's a golem. And it's very cool. And then here we go. This is where shit really starts popping off, because Danny Rose comes out seemingly to offer support for his buddy Adam Flash, right? He's got some powder. He throws it into the Messiah's face. Messiah gets fluffed, right? And then at this point, Crystal Mist, his sweetums, he comes out, right? And then, you know, she's just trying to like give some help. But then Messiah is like, oh, he feels out in his blindness. He thinks, this must be Adam Flash. I will lift you up now and give you the TKO. Oh no! What have I wrought? It was my GF.
Yeah, the quote
What did you think
unquote
when you saw this?
the quote unquote medical team comes out and checks on Christy Mist, and everyone else is just kind of standing around going, "Damn,
What did you
Like the
think?
action just pauses for. What did I think?
What did you think of this modern retelling of Romeo and Juliet?
I'll tell you what I thought, Connor. That's what I fucking thought. That's what I thought. Because what else can you even say? It's like, CZW.
In this case, it's like accidental wife bump. So when this happens, and Eric says, he carries on his finger like, he sees his half, he's like, damn it, Messiah. Like, he's just like, gah. It's chicanery's at it again. There's this weird conversation that didn't even really pick up well, but it's just like this thing where John House thinks very lightly of this whole thing of Christy Miss perhaps being dead, and then somehow they end up at a point where like Eric accuses John of being a necrophiliac, right? And that seems like cool enough, right? But
Yeah,
then,
that's cool.
Yeah. But then John he broaches the subject first, like, where do you learn these words from, Gargiulo? And then Eric, he just goes, college graduate. like some people are just terrible. So that's great. And
He
then
graduated with a degree in necrophilia.
And then Messiah, this is the point where, he gets the powder at his eyes and he sees, oh no, this was Christy Mist that I TKO'd. It's very reminiscent of that painting of Ivan the Terrible and his son Ivan. You ever seen that painting?
I don't think so.
It was the thing where Ivan the Terrible, because he's quite terrible, he decided to kill his son, and then afterwards it's like, oh no, what have I done? Creating his son. So that's what this is like, Exactly. See, Tom. Yeah. Messiah walks out with Christy Mist. Justice Payne watches this go down. He's like, huh. And then then Messiah comes back. He brings like these trash cans into the ring, and like I think this is the point where obviously that's like really funny, right? But then Messiah comes back. He's so full of vengeance and hate in his heart with these trash cans, and I thought the following stuff happens was really cool. Did you agree?
Oh yeah, there is definitely some legit cool stuff in this match, and it's just the length of the bullshit. I can take a lot of CZW bullshit. It's just sometimes they make their bullshit really long, and when things kind of go long, I want more payoff. But we'll get to how much payoff will be later.
Well, for me, the payoff started here, where Messiah is just beating the shit out of people with cans, and cans, they won't be the most harmful thing in the world, but just like, oh, fucking seeing that shit get fucking plastered over someone, man, that's.
I liked Adam Flash and Justice Payne traded shots, but Flash has an actual whole can, and Justice Payne just has a lid, so he's getting destroyed.
It's very good, and during this time, Eric says it's very, it's quote which it's very insightful. I think it says, without pain, without sacrifice, these men have nothing. And that's really cool. Eva plays CZW theme.
Very well. I'm not even going to restart it now. I'm just going to let it go to the end eventually.
Yeah. So yeah, there's just a lot of stuff where Messiah wears a can again. It gets just getting beaten off him, yeah, the Justice Payne versus Adam Flash card exchange is just like, you know, one of those things that it just makes you go, oh man, you know, it's great. And then like then the match like kind of separates because initially you sort of think, you know, it's the thing where it's the babyface versus heels, where like, you know, Messiah and Mondo, they're against the heels, but then like they go off and their own little thing. Meanwhile, Adam Flash and Justice Payne put their friendship aside to just beat the shit out of each other, and like it's cool. Like I think actually it's cool because like, you know, Justice Payne and Adam Flash, they're in the ring. They're just always in the ring. While Mondo and Messiah are setting stuff up on the stage, the hard cam is just focused on them. Meanwhile, everyone's like looking around, you know, sort of like, what are you gonna do? And the hard cam's kind of fucking like going nuts. It feels like it's doing a fucking earthquake. It's all really good. And then like it's quite funny because then soon Justice Payne and okay, so first of all, an assault driver happens off the stage, off the crow's nest into like a big table.
Like it's a mini CZW.
my next note after that was CZW, so it's we're linked here, honestly. After this, Justice Payne and Adam Flash go over to fetch the boys, right? And I think this is part of why the length works so well to me. Is because these guys really sell exhaustion well. I don't even know if I want to say sell. They just are exhausted because like Adam Flash is ahead of Justice Payne, but then Justice Payne, like, you know, goes from behind and bops him in the back, right? But what happens is Justice Payne, due to the momentum he just like put himself through, he kind of just falls over. Meanwhile, Adam Flash just kind of goes, oh, okay, he just keeps walking on, and I think that's some like really cool shit you don't usually see. We get to see merch table as well because it's right next to the scaffold that they decide to climb up.
A scaffold. Does somebody say freefall? That's what our next episode will be on, regrettably.
This is true fucking fate, Eva. It's scaffold in 2 episodes. You gotta be kidding me, CZW/XPW. So yeah, then like Adam Flash, he gets freefalled, just like gets thrown off this scaffold into some bullshit.
Sorry, I tried to pause that about 4 times and missed.
So after this, Justice Payne, it's funny, the crowd tells him to jump, and he just kind of flips them off. Like, I'm not about you, but like, something I'm really like about Justice Payne is his emotions, because it feels like it's impossible for him to hide how he feels, and if he's feeling like really annoyed and tired and just like he'd rather like be doing anything but like this fucking deathmatch right now, he really conveys it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean he's not gonna be a crowd pleaser and like go, hey, shall I drop? No, he's gonna tell you to fuck off for even suggesting such a thing.
Absolutely. Then he climbs down, and here comes Mondo now to like beat him up against the wall, and this is some really compelling brutality. Just like the whole thing of like, I don't know, there's just something that's like, it feels atypical from other like wrestling brawling I see, where like Justice Payne is so tired, he's doing nothing. Nick Mondo comes over and initiates a fight, and you kind of just see like in how Justice Payne moves, it's just like, okay, now I'm fighting again. I have to get into the mindset of fighting, and like he can't do anything. He's just getting beat as shit out of him. He getting put against the wall, and just all through it, he just seems like so like fucking done and pained, and it's really good. Then after that, they go back to the ring, right, and like then Adam Flash, he gets up from the free fall, and like look, he's got some blood on him. He's got a chair, and he just slinks right back in, and he fucking looks demonic. Like just like the visual of him, like it's sort of like a last time, you know, he had that thing where like he was all bloody. He defenestrates Ruckus, and then like, you know, chairs him, and it like you just look at his face. He looks so glassy eyed and seems like he's not fucking there. And this time he just seems so like fucking malicious and like a fucking demon, just like coming right back in there to like just like beat the shit out of people with chairs. And that's the point where I just started thinking, man, this is great. And then, yeah, by this point, like, would you be starting to feel like, okay, you know, when's this going to end, or?
Yeah, the stretch that we just talked about, where like loads of crazy shit is happening. That's awesome. Like nobody can deny that. But they do all get back into the ring eventually.
Yeah.
everyone except Mondo is bleeding. There's still 30 minutes in the video left at this point. It's like,
Yes, there
Jesus
is.
Christ, what else can they possibly do?
How did you feel about them doing like the proper CML main event tag match near fall, where like 2 pins happen at once, and like the referee waits for both before he goes down for the double count?
It was funny, I guess.
I really liked how like no one would ever like fault like Tirantes for like waiting until there's 2 pinfalls, but Eric meanwhile, like he sees Rob Hartog do this and he just goes, Rob Hartog is pathetic. Send in his referee's license.
God, Judo is really into this though. He says a match like this is why you get into the business in the first place, and he's really trying to hammer that point home.
Yeah, that works. So we get into like the exhaustion portion of this match, because the stuff that like I was just describing, that's definitely like, you know, exhaustion on show. But this is the point where everyone's fucking done, but they don't want this match to end. They can't let it end. There's just too much on goddamn stake, Eva. And so this is this first point where, you know, like someone will go for a pin, and the other guy will just like, you know, they don't have the strength to like get up and do a punch or a move. All he can do is just like make a jump over to the pin and so as to break it up. And just as Pain, he breaks up this pin, except he doesn't touch like any of the guys. He ends up just like punching a trash can that happens to be there. That's very funny. I don't know, this match, this was something where you know, obviously it's long and it's hard like to justify like a multi-man match that, like, you know, on paper, like it's literally just like a whole, like so much of this match is just like those exhausted pin like breakups, but they just keep like hooking me in with stuff that's really cool. I think
I didn't hate this match, don't get me wrong. It's just like exhausting. Would probably be the right word. It's definitely trying to be like the most epic thing ever. Like they're so fucking proud to present us with this. Like this is Zadig's like idea of the pinnacle of wrestling.
he's kind of right.
I respect your take.
Yeah, there's just like I don't want to go through all of it. It's just like, because I think I kind of want you guys to watch this match. You know, it's great, and it's like, you know, it's a bunch of stuff that happens that, like, you know, you'd think, oh
yeah. I mean,
cool.
if you're interested in the period, then this is something where you think, oh, maybe I should skip this. But if you have an hour free and you want to check out the most CZW 2002 match possible, give it a go, I guess.
just have to see WV played the entire time.
yeah. Put the CZW theme on, put it on loop, and just watch this match for an hour.
The other like big pin thing that I sort of took note of was this point where Adam Flash does a pin, right? Messiah breaks it up, and he does his own pin, and like after like Adam Flash gets broken up, you just see him kind of like sit there, just kind of dejected, just like, oh. He doesn't try and break up the pin, just like, you know, for that like second, he just gives up. And then, did you get like the further discussions of Christy Mist's condition?
I don't think so. I did actually note that I'm like zoning out for periods of this match now.
Well, Eric wonders if Christy Mist is in the ER right now, and John wonders if she's already set up with Lobo. And then Eric says, "You're a sicko."
Wow.
Love when tensions get high at the commentary table.
They're so good at it. Like, I think they're the best bickering commentary duo ever.
Aye,
Nobody even in my mind comes close. We noted when we were talking about Ring of Honor, Godzilla and Carino, when they try and sort of do this kind of shtick, like they just sound like they kind of like don't like each other, but in a bad
absolutely.
way. I remember when you appeared on the Bad Wrestling podcast, you were talking about like Matt Stryker and Josh Matthews, trying to do back and forth, and it's just like, man, this is just uncomfortable. It's like they've been married for like 30 years and they just fucking hate their lives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Eric and John, they are just like, they're both like very loud personalities. they're probably also very dumb. So it all just comes together, and makes for a great combo. It's said that Messiah's career has been reborn in CZW, and after the last show where I was fearing that maybe he is on the outs, it was beautiful for me to hear that. It was really good. Then then a ladder comes out. Adam Flash brings out a ladder, and you will note, Eva, that it took him a lot less time because he memorized where it was last time. He just went, okay, bitch, wait here. And,
it's in a room with a door that's labelled ladder. That's where it is.
Oh, good thing I remembered the directions to this room last time. And then some great stuff happens with that ladder, and it's cool. Justice Pain, again, he just looks like absolutely fucking like he can't be bored with this. He wants nothing more than just to die, but he needs to continue. He needs to defend his championship. And one interesting thing, did you notice when the crowd chanted for light tubes?
I don't think so.
They chanted for light tubes, and then Adam Flash, like, he calls an audible because he goes back to the back again, and he brings out light tubes, right? Just this big tube in him, of individual ones, and he just like smacks. I think it's a Messiah of it, just like starts at him over the head, and the crowd goes, "Whoa!" And me too. I go for it too. Then after that, again, it's just like this thing of like exhaustion, breaking up pins. Like, I think what makes this what makes it substantial as well is that it feels as if it's not just them rotely going through. I break up pin, you break up pin. As in, like, there'll be a couple of times where, like, maybe the Messiah starts just slapping the mat because, like, oh, fuck, I have no energy at all. Give me your power pass or something like that, and that's cool. And then soon the time limit, like, it starts counting down, like, oh,
Yeah,
10 minutes left in this match.
Just as I hear a fan yell, "Come on, end this shit!" the ring announcer says that there's 5 minutes remaining of the 60 minutes, and there are just like that. I think it was Nick Burt. This is Quiet Storm. There'd been no prior time announcements. As soon as you hear that, like, yeah, there's 5 minutes left, like, you know exactly what's gonna happen, really. I wrote, I just want to fucking know if Lobo's gonna shag Messiah's girlfriend, for fuck's sake.
We get an answer to that, don't worry. But the fucked up thing about this is that I went onto the Stringer.com page for this match, right? And I was expecting fully to see, okay, a 60-minute time limit draw. Alright, sounds cool. But this was not a shoot 60 minutes. It was 58.
Wow.
They called it 2 minutes early, and that's like kind of crazy. So yeah, then they do the 60-minute time limit draw, and it was done well. IMO. People chant bullshit, and it's understandable. They want to finish and all that. And then, like, Justice Pain and Adam Flash, they sort of just hug and then get their titles, like, okay, bye bye. But then Messiah goes, "I will fucking think so." And that's really cool. He's just like, he asked for, like, 10 more minutes, 5 more minutes rather.
Maybe he's trying to get out of this relationship. He really wants to put his girlfriend on the line here.
I hadn't actually thought of that. It's just like
when he started like going, "Hey, I'm not happy with this." Like, I started laughing, which triggered my cough that I had at the time, like some truly disgusting, like, smoker's phlegmy cough. Like, I nearly died, man.
It's just imagine, like, Messiah, instead of being doing this badass, like, call to arms, you just sort of like, "Lovely, you sure you don't want Christy? I mean, I know you're not beginning in much, man. I mean, like, So
he wants to move on to a new titty girl.
Move on to the next titty. So yeah, 5 more minutes for all these guys. Adam Flash and Justice Pain, they drink some, like, water, and then they just keep going on, and, like, they're just going hard as usual. And this leads to a very cool finish, in my opinion. High stakes match, right? We said that it's just like the person who loses, they get their stake taken away. We never said that it's just one person who needs to lose. multiple people could lose. So Messiah and Mondo, in a miraculous effort, they pinned both Justice Pain and Adam Flash. So Nick Mondo, he initially receives the Iron Man title that he's been chasing after for so long, and then after a little delay, they go, a new CZW Heavyweight Champion, the Messiah, and everyone loves it. And this is like, it's quite akin to like the VD title and just like feeling just like fucking big, because the Messiah, he's not a very expressive person. Like he'll just look as if nothing's really happened on his face, but you'll feel it in his heart that this is big. And then like it's Mother's Day, his mama is dead. He looks up to the sky, and that's great, and like him and Mondo hug, and it's just like this really cool moment.
I just want to note that like as they start the 5 more minutes, Gargiulo says, to everyone watching at home on tape, shame on you! You should be here live to see this. And I thought, man, I really don't want to be there live to see this particular match, Eric. It feels exhausting. Like it's like 1 a.m. Like I would just want to get home. Like lying in my bed in a weed coma is truly the only way I could take it in this particular match. What a way to do 2 title changes. You could have just had like Mondo versus Flash and just as Payton as the Messiah, but they did this instead. You gotta be kidding me, CZ Dub.
Play the theme.
Fuck. So yeah,
this.
I think this feels like the most ultimate CZW show that we've watched so far. Just like, if you want to know exactly what they were about at this time, then this is a recommended show.
Yeah, like that main event was probably one of my favorite matches that we've watched here. And the show overall, it's like even like the Rock and Rebel homophobia like minute is fun. It's just like it's very strange to see. Like the peak of Rob and Rebel's life, and that's well enough. Soon he will kill his wife and then himself, so let him have this moment, So,
Oh, he's gonna kill his wife soon. Let him have it. Oh. So yeah,
Pros had this nice match against the super heavyweights. Cons, murder suicide carried out. So yeah.
So yeah,
overall, great show.
I was less keen on the main than you, but it was always pretty funny. Pretty great undercard as well. Like I fucking love the tag title match. Ruckus versus Derek Fraser was also really fun, as well as Backseat Boys and versus M-Dog and Prohibition. The main is just as CZW as it gets. I prefer when they do things sort of straight up, kind of like with the tag title match. But I get the charm. Like it's not torture.
You gotta respect it. You just gotta. Yeah.
Love this company.
Yeah, we love CZW.
One more time. One more fucking time.
One more time.
And there you go.
Okay,
the stakes
so
were high.
The stakes were absolutely high as fuck. And
would you like to give your sort of summary on the matches?
Yeah, in order of the fucking match cards, you can read along at home. Okay, here we go. My opinions on CZW High Stakes 2002. Yeah, And that's that.
And there you go.
Eric, what a match! Oh, this is incredible. Dave Prazak, the woman-hating manager that he is. I don't know who he's rooting for here. Come on, was it the referee? You know, I'm going to flip the blanket. Here by Prazak. That idiot. What's he trying to do? Get a knee.